Bear with me and the scene. You're on the charger because, of course, I was supposedly charging my phone and I never got to finish charging it. But I'm in the process of making this massive, yes, massive chunky blanket. And I'm about to do the last skein. The last skein should get me the measurements that I need. I get my chunky yarn from Michael's. Oh, I have this nice little light pink color. This is the color that the client wanted. I'm just looking for the start and end of this skein. Alright, so I just threw that into my bucket. I'm just gonna literally tie this on, nothing crazy, nothing fancy. Hey, Nye! I'm just gonna go ahead and tie it up. I did my nails. I'm gonna be talking with my hands. I think my roommate just got here, so the dog decline that. Yep, Daisy's gonna be barking like she knows. Getting calls. I'll tell you. No one called me. The dog wasn't doing anything, but as soon as I go live, just chaos, pure chaos. I don't care that this doesn't look pretty. I just want it to be secure. I'm gonna go back. This is one of the reasons why I decided to go live. It's gonna be super mundane, and what better way than to just kind of sit and chat. This is a thread that I use for my sewing machine. I'm gonna go through and kind of like hand thread everything. I don't know if you guys can see. There we go. Thread all the loose ends. So that's gonna be boring. So hopefully you guys can help me get through that. And then again, I'm tying this on here a few times. Just again to make it secure. There's a couple knots here, as you can see. So that's that. Let me read the yarn, I guess. So this is Chanel or Chenille. I never know how to pronounce these things. Chunky yarn. Super bulky, weight 6. It says it should be used with a 25mm hook. I am in fact using a 30mm hook, which is this one here. I got this from Michael's. It's a little like, I don't think you guys can really see it that well, but it's like rough because Daisy got into it and was eating it. She's a chewer. I can't leave anything laying around for her. So yeah, I just chained one and I'm doing single crochets all the way through. This blanket is supposed to be 50 by 60. So that should hopefully be more or less the measurements once I'm done. Thank you, friend. It's around 56 in width. I'm okay with it being bigger. I'd rather it be bigger than smaller per someone's order, of course. Are we still gonna have lunch? Or well, dinner at this point now?
Maybe something.
I'm gonna need at least an hour though. I'm almost done.
I would need 2 hours.
Oh, but you go take a little nappy nap. So yeah, I'm here just single crocheting all the way across, making sure that my tension is nice and light. Okay. And not getting tangled up. Making sure my yarn isn't getting tangled up in the bucket that I have it in. So here we go. I'm just going through single crocheting all the way across. I just saw a comment. Let's see. Thank you, Nye. The fastest crochet project ever. To be fair, you know, we were on Discord last night. I was crocheting for a few hours. This blanket has taken me cumulatively, I want to say 4 or 5 hours. So yeah, it's taken me some time. But honestly, what's gonna take me another chunk is gonna be sewing the loose ends. If it was just a project for myself, I wouldn't care too much, but this is for a client. I just printed out the shipping label, so I do need to get it wrapped up and put away. Because these are so massive, what I end up doing is putting them in space saver bags, and then I have a 24 by 24 like poly mailer, and then I place it in there once I've sucked all the air out. They do weigh a pretty penny. They're almost like weighted blankets, just because of all the fabric that does take, like, that it involves. I need to be quick with comments because I'm missing them. Yeah, because I got home last night. Hey, Michelle. I got home around 11 yesterday, and we were crocheting. We were on Discord for about 2 hours. It was 1 when we went to bed. And then I had already started this, so it had taken me at least another like 2 hours beforehand. So I'm hoping to be done crocheting soon so I can start weaving in these ends. And so what I'm going to do is, with the thread, the smaller thread, I'm literally just going to go in and sew all the chunky bits, or the messy bits. Like, where is it? I just lost the add-on. So you see how this is kind of hanging? I'm going to go through with a smaller needle and literally just sew it in so that it's not visible or it blends in with the other stitches. But yeah, she's massive. Like, I have her folded in half on me right now. Like, I can't even, it doesn't even fit on screen how big it is. This is the width in half right now. Let's not knock you over. That would be bad. Okay, so yeah, I'm literally just crocheting. When I, not get up, but once I finish the skein, I'll measure it again to see if I have my desired length. And then I'll go in and finish her up. Sounds like the mats I used to make. What kind of mats, Michelle? Oh, I can see comments on my iPad. Let's see if that's not dead. Oh, I have some charge here, so that's good. All right, let's see if I can see these comments. The dog is wanting, she's wanting to get on the couch, but she cannot. Okay, perfect, thoroughly silent. You say where you are. Yeah, this was about 26. Oh, wow. Sounds fancy. Why you have so much fleece now? Okay. So I'm at the end of my row. I'm literally just going to try to chain one and flip my work. So again, I have it folded in half just so I can like work it and make it more manageable. This is the width of it in half right now. I'm close to 30, which is a measurement in half, which will give me the 50 by 60 that I need. And that's honestly just how I've been measuring it, by just measuring it in half. And every time I go, I flip. So now I have it folded in fourths, at least in regards to the length. So this is how I'm just kind of holding it to work with it. And then again, this is my working. This is the other row. I don't need that, so it's kind of just hanging. So I've chained one. Now I can continue to single crochet across. Make sure that my working yarn is nice and loose. There's nothing holding it so the tension doesn't change. My stitches are pretty loose too. I don't want really tight tension. I'm just moving over so I can have space. And want to make sure I'm on film or in frame. I realized when I was completing this project, I got this during my Black Friday sale. I realized that I had a lot more yarn left than I realized. So what I think I want to do is probably make a few more. I normally make stroller sizes now because it's easier and it's a smaller blanket to make, so it's easier. So I'm going to try to see if I can make a few more. I have literally a market left so far for the season, and I would rather that not be the case, but just it is what it is for now. I'm going to still keep looking, maybe start applying for some in January if there are any. But yes, here we are. I'm just crocheting, working up on this order. Okay. Making sure I go through both, you know, like any standard crochet, right? The top is a V. Making sure I go through both. Again, just making sure my working yarn isn't too tight, nice and loose. Yeah, so I did make my money back, thankfully. So I talked about this in the last few lives, but the economy is really bad right now. People aren't shopping. Like, there's a lot of people out, but they're not shopping. And in all fairness, it's understandable, right? Anything handmade or artisanal is a luxury item. People don't really think about it that way, but it is. And that's honestly why it costs so much, because someone spent their time to make this item, right? Like, this wasn't made in a factory. This isn't mass produced. Everything is one of a kind, right? So while a lot of people, you know, like for us small business owners, we're really struggling right now because a lot of people don't have the luxury of spending money on luxury goods. And that's why we're all kind of like struggling right now. This is my yarn. I'm gonna just unravel it so I can just redo it again, because I can feel it knotting on me already. But yeah, so like a lot of people are out. So what I've been trying to do as kind of like to counter out this is be where there's a lot of people, right? So what does that mean? I've attended tree lightings, and I'm currently, the last set of markets I've done were in Durham at the baseball stadium. If you look at some of my, I think I have a live market vlog where I was literally setting up not last minute, but I had to come up with a kind of like a stall with the space that was given to us because tents are provided there. And if you guys have seen my past videos, I tend to hang my grid walls from the sides of the tent. At that venue, I was not able to do so, so I needed to kind of come up with an alternate display. And I didn't know what I was walking into. That was last weekend. I was there again this past weekend. But what I was saying is that, you know, I'm there because a lot of people attend the winter festivities, right? Like, people are there to go sledding, have hot chocolate, spend time with their family. Like, it's very destination, right? Tree lightings, those kind of things are destination. While people may not be going there with the intent to buy, you are exposed to a lot of people. Exposure in a small business, whether it's with money or not, like if you get purchases or not, exposure is good, right? Maybe they can't buy what you have currently, but if they're interested in a customized gift or a personalized gift, then okay, it's like, yeah, well, I'm doing this like in particular, or I want this, or I'm allocating X amount for this, you'll be fine. I think I have enough to do one more row, and then I'll measure it. But outside of that, again, people aren't really spending. So there's a lot of people that attend these venues or these events that I've been to, but not everyone's particularly buying. But the people that are buying a lot. So on average, I was looking at Square yesterday, like reports and stuff. My average transaction the last few markets have been roughly $50 to $60. And previous years, my average transaction is like 20 or 30. So people are spending more. I'm just having less people spend, if that makes sense. So my goal for most markets, I have 3 goals. The first goal is to make my stall fee back, right? However much I spent to be there. And I attend a variety of markets. Some markets only cost $30. Some markets cost $50. And then I have markets that are well over $100. The most expensive market I've ever done was $300. And I honestly do not care to spend that amount of money unless it's going to be for multiple days. But the woolly one is roughly like $120, $130 after like fees and taxes and all that good stuff. And luckily I've been able to make that back at those markets. And then I think I'm averaging around $300, $250, $300. Like at 3 markets last week, I did $450 on the Thursday one. I did maybe $100 on the Friday one, and then I did another like 2 to 3 on the Saturday one, excuse me. Then this week, Thursday, where was I think I did around another 300, and then yesterday I did close to 300 as well. So individually they're not great compared to, that's my general market average, like year round, right? Ideally, I should be making close to 500 on average. I think the most I've ever made on a market was like maybe $700 or $800. And that was literally just one time last year. I have not been able to surpass that. I've been close, but I haven't been able to surpass that. And ideally, I would like to do that. But with the economy the way that it is, it's going to be really hard. I have maybe 2 more single crochets left, and I'm going to measure it. And I'm going to show you guys how I'm going to measure it. Get this last one. Again, making sure I have both V's. Or, well, the full V, right? Like both stitches. Okay. This is what I have left. I don't think this is going to be enough for a full row. I just want to measure it to see. I don't want to make it too big either. But it at least has to meet the minimum. Let's see. I know Michelle said some stuff. Let me get caught up on comments. It is scary when they're expensive because you don't know if you're going to get that back. And I did one in October, which is one of the more expensive markets in the area. I spent about $160. And I made literally $111 that day. And I've been trying so hard to get into those markets. And I finally got into it. And it may have just been because like the state fair was in town. But not many people were there. Not many people were shopping. Like, it was literally the last weekend of the state fair here, and that's really big in North Carolina. And I live in the capital where the state fair is being held, so I lost money that day. And then I'd been waitlisted on other events and just have not heard anything back from them in regards to that either, so I can only assume that I wasn't accepted. So it sucks. I may try again next year, but again, I'm trying to stay under $100. Ideally $50 would be the sweet spot, because again, that's going to be my first goal. My first goal is going to be $50 if that's what my market fees are. So it'll be easier for me to reach a goal of 50 than to just try and reach a goal of 150. And that's just to get out of the red. Like, that's to break even in regards to spending money for that day. That doesn't include any cost of goods. It doesn't include my yarn. That doesn't include gas. Like, literally just being there. This is the blanket. It's massive. I'm gonna lay it on the couch so I can measure it. And then I'm gonna show you how I do that as well. Let me kind of just move this over and situate you guys as well. If anyone has issues with like vertigo and stuff, I would suggest you correct yourself or prepare yourself. Excuse me. Let me unplug the phone. That might help. And let me properly close this. Ignore my mess per usual. But this is more or less the blanket, right? This is what we're working with. Let me try to make this taller. So yeah, this is the blanket. So what I'm gonna do now, here's my charger that I was using. I'm gonna try to lay her out across this way. This is the width, right? This is the width, and I'm always working this way. She's folded in half. I don't know where any of my other measuring tapes are, so we're using the house measuring tape. So like I said, we're at 26 here, so it's a little over 50 in width, right? So if this is folded in half, we're multiplying everything times 2, correct? So here it shows roughly 56, I keep saying 56, 26, 27, right? Give or take, depending on how you stretch it. So that's my 50. We're good there. Now I'm measuring length. And then here, I need to make sure that it is actually in half, right? Like, I want to make sure I'm measuring the full height of the blanket. So I'm kind of just like laying her out. And then with this bend here, there is roughly like an inch or two that I'm losing. So I do keep that in mind when measuring. But I do like to kind of just fix it so that it's a square. So here we're at 30. Right, I'm at my 30 mark. So I've gotten the length of the blanket that I need. I'm done. So I'm going to, this is where I was working. Nope. Here. So I was here. I'm going to flip the camera around so I can show you how I close it off. And then also how I close my ends. So bear with me once again, please. Okay. Okay. I'm going to sit back down and shorten this. You're also turned the wrong way because why wouldn't you? Right? She's loose. Okay. Just so up close and personal. Okay. Let me gather myself. And here's my crochet hook. So what I'm going to do now is this is my last working end, right? I'm going to just basically snap this off. I don't need this. This is extra. I have roughly 4 skeins left. That should be enough for me to make another pink baby blanket, which I think I will do. Don't know if I'll do it today, but I'll definitely do it at some point this week. So I'm just going to do a chain, but slipping it through so it ties it off. All right, and then we're going to work this end in. I'm going to make a knot here. I like to secure it as much as possible. And then again, we're just going to weave through making knots. Okay. These are just slip knots, not anything crazy or super secure. But I do just want to make sure that it's not going to be visible to the client. So I'm kind of just making knots along the stitches. I may turn the camera so you can see what I'm actually doing again. I'm so sorry, guys. Let's see. How should I do this? I'm gonna turn it towards the couch so we can both see what I'm doing. So I'm gonna kind of just turn this way and put this whole thing on the couch and we can work together. I don't even know where I'm at. Here we go. And I used multiple skeins of yarn for this, so there's gonna be a lot of weaving in on both sides that need to be done. So let me just turn the camera back around. Okay. Again, don't mind the mess of my house, because life forever. Okay. So this is what we're doing. I'm literally kind of just going in, and as you see here, I made this knot. I'm going along with this stitch here. The dog is whining. She wants to go outside, but she will not. Again, another knot. And then I'm just going to keep weaving this in into like existing stitches. Okay. But in this little area, and then I will sew all this up together. All right, so I'm happy with this. I'm going to finish breaking the rest of this off. Don't need that. I do need my needle, which is in this bag here. If I can lift it. Whew, she heavy. Okay. I have been working on baby hats for the store. I have these made up so far. And then they're not going to have the snap on them just because I don't care to sell the pom-poms at the store. And I'm only going to have a limited color range as well. So I went with this color range in particular because I have baby booties that I sell. So I figured they can kind of mix and match with the baby booties. That's going off to the side. That's not what I'm looking for. There's a little bin in here that has, here we go. This is the bin that I was looking for. There's a needle in here. And that's the needle that I need. Okay. I also need the yarn that I've lost in the chaos. It's here somewhere. Or not. What did I just do with it? She fell. Okay. So I'm going to grab a really long piece about the length of my arms. My arm span. 2 times the length of my arm span, correction. Just break her off. Then what I'm going to do is thread my yarn. Or thread my needle, excuse me. Okay. So these are my 2 ends. I'm trying not to get the needle or the thread knotted because that's not going to be fun. So the same thing I do with my tapestry needle will apply here to thread this. Okay. Can you guys see what I'm doing? I do the same pinch and then I'm rubbing. Oops. Okay, try this again. And I'm just rubbing until it's through, and then I can pull it up. All right, that's done. I'm going to now tie this together with the other end. Okay, so we have a nice little knot there. Now my thread is doubled, so we're going to find where we just were, which is right here. I'm going to put the needle through the actual yarn because there is a hard center in here somewhere. Here we go. I'm going to put my needle through the thread like this to create a knot. once it gets to the end. I hope any of that makes sense. So now the yarn is stuck to my thread, and now I'm going to go ahead and just start threading this closed. And again, just doing knots along the way as I go to hide her in place. Okay, so this is weaved in, right? You can't really see it all that much, not anymore, compared to how it was. I do have my thread knots or ends left, so I'm going to tie these off and then cut it. And, you know, some people might see this as excessive, but this is a product and I want it to be as neat and clean for the client as possible. So let me get my fabric scissors, my little pouch here. We're gonna cut this like so. All right, and now anything that's left will blend in with the yarn itself. All right, we're gonna create a new knot here because there isn't one anymore. We just cut it off. If my fingers would work, that would be so helpful. Okay, another knot. And Daisy's still whining. Okay. Now I'm going to have to scour the rest of the blanket to find loose threads. The blanket, yeah, it's roughly 60 by 52. So it's the size of a throw blanket. Your standard throw size. So here I don't have any loose ends or anything like that need to be weaved in, and I will literally go row by row like this. Row by row. Just checking. I see that one there, but I don't want to skip anything by going too quick. And then, yeah, so this is the first one I see here. So I'm going to go ahead and work on this. So this is where I added the yarn, okay? Again, I'm going to kind of just put the yarn through both of these loose ends and tie it off that way. It would be so nice if my dog stopped whining. Daisy, ven aquí, por favor. Vente. Porque yo no sé por qué tú estás jodiendo por la puerta. Vente para acá, ven. All right, these are my active stitches. This is what I have. I'm going to kind of just lay it again to try and blend it with the stitches. So this is a stitch here that's underneath it, and I'm just gonna kind of like mold the yarn around it. So it's gonna be like a little dot. And I'm gonna stitch this together now. Daisy, vente para acá, por favor. All right, not anything too tight, not anything too crazy. And again, I do like to knot this, so I'm putting it through the same working yarn so that it knots kind of like in the middle. I don't know what the terms are in regards to this method, but that's just what I do. If I have any sewers that know the name of that method, I'd appreciate the assistance. But this is just what I've always done. I know this is what I know how to do, so that's just what I do. Again, this is kind of loose here. I'm going to just feed it through and tie it off. While hopefully not stabbing myself. Okay. And then again, my blankets are all machine washable and dryable. So this will also help in the washing process if, you know, when it does get put into the machine. If you just did a normal, like if you just weaved in your ends as normal, over time with washes, they can come out. So that would not be helpful to the client. And again, it makes it neater and cleaner. Daisy, por favor, Daisy. Vente para acá, please. Because I don't know qué afán tú tienes para allá afuera. Can you guys see what I'm doing? No, you cannot. So here we go. Okay. Again, we're just going to go ahead and cut this. All right. You can kind of see it a little bit, but unless you're up close on it, you're not going to see it. And again, it's not, you know, the neatest or the cleanest because these are my other stitches and this is where I weaved in the end. I basically covered that last stitch here. But again, it's a lot neater, right? To the naked eye, you're not going to be able to notice that. All right. And for me, I feel like it's the easiest and best way to weave in my ends because this is what a normal end would look like here. So this compared to this, for me, wins every time. Okay. This seems to be my next one. Again, I'm just going to kind of move the blanket around so I can see. Yeah, this is my next one. Again, she's massive. So I'm trying to just get her to fit in the space that I have allocated. And that you guys can see too. Alright, so this is the next one that I'm going to be working on. Let me kind of lift it up some. Alright. You guys can see that? Yeah, this is where we are now. Okay? So I'm going to do the same thing I just did to the last one that you guys couldn't see because I was not aware I was not on frame. Let's try that again. Again, just going to double knot this. Okay. So again, I'm putting my needle through the two ends, like through the actual yarn itself for it to pick up. Same thing here. Oof. Okay, perfect. And then I'm going to put it through the thread. All right. That secures that. That secures my thread to the yarn. And again, this is the stitch that's underneath. I'm going to basically cover the stitch with the ends, the loose ends. Okay, so I have like this little ball here. And I'm just going to stitch the yarn into this little ball to cover the stitch. All right. So again, I'm going to just go through from top to bottom or bottom to top, wherever my yarn is now, or my thread is, excuse me. And then there's the opening. I'm just going to pull this through so that when it tightens at the end up here, there's like a little knot and it's pushing everything together, right? Kind of like a little roast. Just pulling this through and tightening it. So there's thread on both sides. Okay. That's the reason why I'm going through the thread. Okay. This is why I go through the thread, so that it's held, it's just held against the stitch. Okay. This is still kind of poking up. I'm going to push it down. All right. I've already lost my initial tail to the thread. I normally kind of tie my thread, the active, like the working thread with it, but I already lost it in the sauce. So I'm just gonna go ahead and make a few more little knots here and then tie it off right here. Okay. Is this it? No. Alright, that's fine. Oh wait, I think it might be. Let's see. Yeah, here's the tail. Alright, so now that I found my tail, I'm just gonna go in and tie this off. Let me know if you guys have any questions so far, but this is literally all I do. Alright, just 2 little knots, nothing too crazy. And then again, that's it. So now the loose ends are covered basically, or are stitched into one of the, are sewn into one of the stitches. This may not be enough for the next one, but we're just gonna go ahead and tie it off anyways and look for the next the end that we have to weave in. I'll check comments in a hot second. Let us see if you guys have questions. Hey, Sandra. Yes, this is a throw blanket. No, for real though. I have stabbed myself a few times. Not yet on this one, but definitely blood, sweat, and tears. And if you crochet with your hair loose, probably hair too. You know how many times I've weaved hair into projects? All right, so the next loose one is over here. I'm trying to make sure I'm in frame while working. And this I didn't knot all that much, so I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of knot really quickly together. Chiquita, ¿qué te pasa? What's the matter? Why are you misbehaving? Mommy doesn't like it when you misbehave. All right, so that's nice and tight, or as tight as it's gonna go. And again, I can either go this way or go to the right. I think I might just go this way and then bring this down to weave this in like that. Okay. It's not, you know, there isn't a right way or a wrong way. I'm just trying to condense what I can. So let's see here. I'm gonna go through and then again just find that little opening. What are you eating or chewing on, ma'am? You're doing the most right now, Daisy. I don't particularly care for it. Do you have hiccups? Do you need some more water? You just want to go outside and get wet is what I think. Alright, so I'm just going to keep going. Going through all this right here. You can't really see what I'm doing because the yarn itself is so chunky, but I'm trying to push the needle through that loose yarn. and then just tying off with every stitch so that it's nice and tight against it, and it's very secure to the blanket. Okay, I'm gonna go up one and come around here so that I'm close to the tail, my starting tail. Okay, and I'm gonna tie this off. Can you guys hear the rain? I mean, outside of Daisy's pitter patter, but the rain sounds amazing right now. All right, so I have my few knots, and again, I'm just going to hold the thread away from the yarn and then cut it. It's okay if there's like a few like little loose pieces. It honestly just blends in with the yarn. So this is what's left of my long tail. I'm gonna go ahead and get more yarn, or get more thread, excuse me. The crochet hook that I used, Sandra, was a 30mm hook. And this I got at Michael's. I think it was like $5 or $10. It's like their biggest size hook. I'm coming back over here now to the same thing. Right, I need to get more thread. What did I do with the thread? Here it is. Hey, Barb. Nice. Did you just buy it now, or you had it for a while? I know, Daisy. You want attention, but mommy's working. Once I'm done, you will get cuddles. Don't you want to go bother your uncle? Come, get on the couch. But you can only be on this side because mommy's working. Okay. I'm just making another knot here. Okay. All right. Now we're going to get my needle to the opposite side. Okay. So again, the ones I've already done, I've kind of just lost them. Like, where was the last one that I just did? Can you guys see it? It was near here. But I don't see it already. Was it this one? This was definitely one of them. But do you see how overall, with the rest of the blanket, it's hard to distinguish where the ends were? So this is one right here. This is what it looks like as it is alone. But then this was one that we already weaved in. Okay. Do you see the difference and just how much neater it looks? And again, this blanket is machine washable and dryable. With me doing it this way, even if it's washed, it's not going to come out. Sometimes when you weave an end, with time, use, and stretching and whatever is not, it can come out. Right? So this for sure secures it to the blanket. Now, I have this loose end here. I'm just going to kind of feed it through this loop, which is the natural loop of the stitch. Excuse me. And then I'm going to kind of just fold it back onto that stitch here. And then that's how I'm gonna hide this weave in this end. Can you guys see that? What I did there? I'm just gonna hide it this way. All right, so I'm gonna grab the two ends. Oh, excuse me. Get my needle through the yarn or the thread. All the terms, bro. All the terms. You know what I mean. And then we're just gonna tighten that. And then this is my end, which I like to keep to tie it off at the end. And I'm going to just sew this around the actual, when I hand sew around it to keep it like locked in place. Okay. I hope all of this makes sense, y'all. If I can't use my words, you can at least see what I'm doing. So I hope that still helps you. Normally for other size yarn, you don't really have to do this. You could, but I don't think it's that bad. With the chunky yarn, it's just that the yarn is so thick, it's very easily visible. You are welcome to do this for smaller size blankets though, for sure, especially like if you're selling it, you know, you want your product to be pristine and clean. This is definitely a method that you can do. Oh, my tummy's grumbling. I'm literally fighting the needle to get through the yarn. Okay. All right, and then my end's over here, so I'm gonna come back down. I can technically cut this, but I don't want to. Just gonna go back down and tie this off. Okay. Maybe just one more. Okay, that's it. And then again, I'm just gonna cut this little part right here. And there you go. This one's done. Okay, you could cut this. I don't want to cut it because in case I cut the actual thread itself. So I'm just going to leave that as is. And again, compared to the stitches near it, unless you're really sitting here staring at these 3 stitches, you would not notice that that's where our end was and that we weave that in. I can show you guys how to do the lap one. Personally, I prefer the crocheted version. And that's just because of the nature of crochet versus knit, right? So while knit uses 2 needles, it is very 2-dimensional. It has a lot of stretch to it. Crochet, while using 1 needle, it's 3-dimensional, and that's why it's used to make origuramis, plushies, all that good stuff. But there's barely any stretch to it. So the blankets are a lot looser when it comes to the knit ones. And if you're not careful with your tension, it'll be super loose and very holey. I don't like that when it comes to blankets. Yes, it's still warm, but I like evenness. I like even tension, even spacing throughout everything. So I just tend to crochet mine because of that. Why am I struggling right now? I can't multitask. But yeah. I can do a tutorial though if you guys would like one. But I prefer the crochet method. Let's see. All right, so we're done here. I'm kind of just, again, going through, putting the needle in my mouth. If it sounds funny, that's why. I have one down here and I have one over here. So I'm going to work on these last two on this side, and then I have to flip it over to see if I have any more on the other side too, which I'm sure I probably do. So again, I'm just making sure I'm on frame. Okay, and then this is what I'm working with here. And then I will just try to kind of conceal, compress, hide, that kind of good stuff. All right, so I just made a ball. And I'm gonna come in through here and just go through the stitches. Gonna go through the yarn, or the thread, excuse me. That's that. This is my little tail. I'm gonna leave it out so I can tie it off at the end. And then again, everything is nice and compressed right here, so I'm just gonna go back and forth a few times to make sure it's nice and sewn up. And what's happening? Something's caught somewhere, or there's a knot. It's gonna let me, or is it gonna break? What are we doing? Nope. Okay, let's try this again. All right, so I think I had a knot somewhere. Yeah, the knot is here. So let's try this again. And the knot is going to be at the top of my thread. Let's see if that'll work. I'm just making a mess. What am I doing? Okay. All right, so my knots are up here. Let's see if this will work. Try this again. We're gonna cut through here and then go through to the other side. Okay, that worked. Okay, again down here on this side, and then just looping it through the yarn, or the I keep calling it yarn, the thread. All right, I've only done two. I'm gonna do one more time just to make sure it's nice and secure. If you guys could only see my concentration face. I feel like I look crazy. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and just tie this off again. Okay, so again, this is what we have, right? So that's it, really. Just finishing off the blanket. You know, some people think this part is mundane, some people it's unnecessary, but honestly, I feel like this makes a difference in the blanket. All right, we have another piece over here. Right here, there's another one. I'm just making a knot. Okay. All right, so that's done. You guys are on frame. Yes. All right, so I'm trying to gauge what I have here. This is the very start of the blanket. I'm gonna try and lift it higher to like this second row so that it's not as visible here on this first row. So I'm gonna combine it over here. So I'm slipping it through this stitch here and just pulling through. And then I'm gonna use this stitch here as well. So I took this knot and I just slipped it through these two stitches, and I'm gonna tie this thread now into this stitch. All right, so I need to grab this one and tie it to this. And then we're gonna do the same thing with this one. Leave my tail here so I can tie it off later. I'm going through the actual yarn itself, going through the back, the two posts of the stitch, and that's that. Anything else now is just honestly just for securing it. So I'm gonna do it a few more times. Okay, perfect. And then all right, that's that. That's nice and secure. This is the original tail that I was working with. I'm gonna use that to make little knots. All right, that's that. I'm going to now cut these little two pieces here. Okay. And then making another knot on my needle to find anything else that I need to. I think this side is done. I'm going to now just give it a once over one more time, and then I will flip it over and work on any that are on the other side as well. Okay. Let's give her a once over again, right? This is where I did the thing, right? So here we are. Again, just making sure, looking. There's one, but it's on this side. That doesn't count. We'll flip it. I don't see any more on this side of the blanket. So I'm gonna flip her over because she's massive. We're gonna check this side now. There's one up here. Okay. There's one over here, so that's two. I have 1, 2, 2, 3, 4. I have 5, including the other end. So let's kind of fold her back up some so I can make this more manageable for myself. And then I'll fold her again in half. Okay. So I'm at the bottom, or I'm at the start here. So we're gonna start on this one now. Okay, I can bring this down more because you can't really see what I'm doing. Okay. Hey, Mary. Okay. So we're here. I can tell that the other piece is right here. It was crocheted in, so that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm just going to grab this and loop it through the actual stitch to meet its other counterpart up here. And then I'm just going to kind of crochet this together, or not crochet this, excuse me, sew these two pieces together now. Are you going to let the thread go through? I'm trying to separate the thread so I can put it through the thread. Okay. So again, just kind of pushing it down. Here's my tail. And I'm going to sew this into the stitch like I have been. Oh. Not my needle getting unthreaded. What is happening, Jesus? Daisy just keeps doing the most today. I don't know if it's the rain. I don't know if something's like bothering her. But I don't care for it. Okay. Let's try this again. My camera's losing it. Okay. I'm going to go further down. I feel like that wasn't far down enough. I'm going to come up around here. Just trying to feel for it. Alright, maybe one or two more. Okay, and now we're going to tie it off again. Ouch. Okay. Oh no, Mary, I'm sorry. Nye and I were talking about that yesterday. Like, Nye, I don't know if you're still on here, but my hands were definitely like numb last night. Like when I was sleeping, and I thought of you. Like it was not fun. But I did have calambre, and my hands were falling asleep. Like I was getting numbness in my fingers yesterday after crocheting for 2 hours. Like my hands hurt a lot. And mind you, while I was at the market, I was also still working on items. Like I wasn't just like sitting there either. Like, I was working on other. I was finishing up the baby headbands and the coffee cozies that I had taken with me. I have easily over 20 baby headbands now that I did just at the market. I'd cranked them out, and then I finished them up at the market yesterday while I was there waiting. Let's see, I'm trying to figure out how I want to hide this one now. So I think I will hide it right here with this stitch. Like so. Okay. So I'm going to grab these two pieces. Again, just trying to get through the actual yarn itself. Sometimes it can be a little hard to penetrate the yarn because of the way that it's made. And then again, we're just going to just condense all this into itself over the stitch. Okay, I'm trying to make sure that my tail is out so I can tie this up later. Okay. So we're just going to kind of go through here. And just go tightening. I'm going to do this over. I don't have nearly enough thread. I not realize. Okay. So I'm going to place this here while I grab more thread. Watch me go crazy looking for it in like 2 seconds. Okay. Let's try this again. grab these two. Come on. Don't be difficult. There we go. She wants to be difficult. And I don't want it to break my thread. Honestly, for me, this is the most frustrating part. It's not even the crochet part. It's weaving in the ends. And my thread broke. Because why wouldn't it? Okay, let's try this again. For me, this is a non-fun part of the like chunky blankets. I love crocheting them. Love crocheting them. This part I do not care for. So easy. Yeah, you wouldn't do that for me last time. Why? Why? I'll tell you. Okay, so I'm gonna feed it through here. I have my little tail, like I was going to from the beginning. And we're going to just kind of lay this down. And now I'm going to stitch this area here as a whole. Make sure my tail is not taken in. Okay, perfect. And we're going to keep going all the way through and around the end. So I still have this piece here that needs to kind of get pushed in. Right, I'm gonna go up now to get closer to my end here. Okay, I'm gonna tie off my end. So I've done 2 out of 5. I have 3 more left to do. Okay. This is too short for nothing. Like, this is too short. I can't do anything with this. Let me look at comments. Give me 1 second. I just want to thread this again. This is the yarn that just, not the yarn, good God, terms. This is a thread that just broke on me. We're going to just make a quick knot up here. Let me look at comments. I made hand knit wet blankets. Bonnie Bay. There's a lot of YouTube tutorials too, Sandra. And then honestly, some like yarn skeins have like Afghan patterns too. You can just make them bigger. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it doesn't have to be complicated. And then with these, it works up a lot faster too. So that helps. Mm-hmm. You know, basic crochet, but your hands lose the yarn. Oh no. I'm sorry, Mary. How are your diamond dots going? Yeah. The long fingernails. Yeah, honestly, the struggle is a little real right now. I just put them on, like, so these are press-ons that I got from one of the other vendors. I normally do my own nails. Like, I'll do my tips and that kind of stuff. But she had designed these, like, they're already pre-designed. You just, like, put them on. And I was like, oh my god, I have to get them. They're super cute. And then today I was supposed to have a market, and the market got canceled. So I was like, you know what? I deserve some me time. I needed to do my nails really badly anyways. I put these on like 2-3 hours ago. So I'm still kind of like getting a feel for them. But generally, I can do a lot of things with my nails being long. I prefer them to be longer, honestly. They're kind of just like a tool for me. They're an extension to the other tools that I have. Alright, so I'm just opening it up again and trying to find what do I have next to do. And then again, you know, it is still slightly visible, but it's still better than what it would have been before. You know what I mean? There's one right here. There's another one over here. Alright, so let's work on this one first. Okay. So this I might just, again, kind of condense and hide in here. Let me get the ends. Don't you start. Alright, well, I guess my tail is going to be longer than I expected. Whatever. Alright, I'm going to kind of go through this stitch here. I have to go through it with this as well since it's already attached. Okay, and then I'm going to bring it up to this stitch here. And then I'm going to hide it there. Alright, so I'm going to just sew all of this onto here now, over this existing stitch. Okay. Here's my tail. Where's my tail? There we go. All right. But yeah, I know it's controversial too to have like long nails. A lot of people say, oh, it's unhygienic, this and that, or you shouldn't have long nails. It's gonna mess you up and this and that. I'm used to it. My natural nails are long. Like you can see them underneath here. So my nails are long. Like it's not the end all be all for me. Okay. So this one went really easily, quickly. I'm gonna go ahead and tie it off after this last one. Okay. That's that, right? These are the others around it, and then this is one stitch. All right, that's done. Just gonna cut this off. All right, so that was that. I think that was 4. We have 1 here. Or no, was that 3? I've lost count. Doesn't matter. What matters is that everything gets hidden. I have 1 here. And then there's another one over here. So I found another one actually while I was doing it, because I feel like I've done more already. But that's just how it be. So we have these 2 for now that I can see, and then I'll still go through and just double check. There's one here I just found. Right, so just going through, cleaning her up. Okay. Okay, again, I'm gonna assess this situation. I think I can just hide it right over the same exact existing stitch, just like that. I'll go through here. Do that like that. And then put it through this piece here. Okay. And then here's the tail that I like to use to tie off, and I'm just going to go around all of these now a few times to tighten it to the stitch. Okay. Just making sure everything is nice and secure. Nothing comes undone. Again, if they wash and dry it, no ends are going to be visible or come undone. I'm just working my way back down to tie off down here. Okay, there we go, another end weaved in. All right. Oof, so I'm getting hungry. Okay. And we're gonna need more yarn. Or more thread, excuse me. Right, let me see comments again. So sorry, y'all. You know I can't multitask. You're working on lettering for an elephant plushie ear. Oh. It is super comfy, Barb. That's what Daisy sleeps on now. She's over there on her little doggy bed with her blanket. Though hers, I hand it and you saw like the looseness of the gauges, like the stitches and stuff. It gets super loose. I don't like it like that. So I no longer knit them. I crochet them for that reason. Okay, we have this one. I'm already over this, y'all. I'm over it. But alas, here we are. Alright, so I'm going to go through here. Move it closer into the blanket. Again, I'm just putting it through existing stitches. Not doing anything super crazy. Right? Generally, this is how you would weave in your ends, right? But with the yarn being so chunky, again, it could easily come out or get undone. I prefer to still sew it with the thread to prevent that from happening. So now that that's done, I'll just take these two ends and then I'm going to weave in around here. Okay, let me just rethread my needle. Story of my life. Hey, Sandy. I'm trying to finish this darn blanket so we can be doing with. Okay. Watch me get a knot here now. That's all I need. Haha. Knot stay, Satan. Okay. Where am I? I already lost it. Where'd it go? Do you guys remember where it is? Where is it? Here it is. I was like, I lost it. All right, so I'm gonna, again, go through here. Go through here. Just a little bubble. And this is my tail. And I'm just going to tighten it around here a few times. My tail is really small. I might not be able to. Here it is. Let's not lose that. Because I'm just hiding in like the little ends, I'm gonna just do this a few times. I don't have to do anything too crazy here. Ugh, it's gonna break on me again. I'm not sure why. What is the problem? I just want to sew this so I can go have dinner. I don't even know what's the end and what's the start point anymore. Ugh. Lord, I'll tell you. And again, that's why this is my least favorite part of making the blankets. Let's try to tie this again over here. Again, I am not a hand sewer. I'm just doing what I know how to do or what I've figured out to do over time. So clearly none of this is proper, which is why my thread keeps breaking. And why this is not a tutorial. I have a bubble here. Not sure why or how, but this is secure. It's gonna be as secure as it's gonna get because I'm already over it. And I'm gonna use the bubble and my tail to tie this off because, again, over it. Alright, so let's go here. Not one. Not two. Not three. That's been weaved in. Barely made it, but we got it. Okay. Above row. I'm just looking at the comments really quickly, guys. I'm so sorry. While I tie off this knot. Looks very soft and comfy. My dog would love that. Hi, everyone. Making dinner. Yeah, no, Daisy loves her blanket. Like, absolutely loves it. Okay, so that's done. And then this one, I think it was this one here. No, where was it? I keep losing them. See, here it is. It's right here. So compared to the other rows, like it's hard to even tell what we did. And again, it secures it. It makes it very, very secure for the client. Okay, same thing here. This is already a knot here, so I'm just going to kind of stitch these in like that there. Okay. I'm gonna stitch it up against it. My tail is very short again. 'Tis what it is. And again, I'm just going to loop around what I'm trying to like compress down into the stitch. And that's what the thread is allowing me to do here. I'm just kind of like melting it into the existing stitches. Go up this way. Okay, that's that. I'm gonna tie it off to the tail. Some are easier and faster than others. Some take a little bit more thought and time, just depending on how much, you're working with, that kind of thing. But the point of this is just to weave in your ends, or sew in your weaved ends to make it extra secure for the clients. Alright, that's done. Okay. I'm going to look at it again to see it's over again. Okay. Let's see here. Yell at me if you find anything. That was the one we just did. I know I have this one left, but outside of this, what else? That's what I'm looking for right now. This is another one that we weaved in. Just literally going row by row. This is another. No, it's not. I lied. Never mind. Yeah, the blanket is massive. I think we're done on that side. Let me check the other side again. And then I'll just do that starting. How has everyone been? I think this is the most I've had on a live all at once recently. I keep catching you girls at different times. Sandra, I haven't spoken to you in a minute. How are you, love? Okay, I think we're good. This was another one that we weaved in. Alright, so they're obvious, but not super noticeable, right? Like, unless you're examining it like we are right now, you will not see that. So this is my end. This is the very last one I need to do. I'm going to weave it in like you would normally. And then wherever I decide to end it, I'm going to then sew that. I like to make little knots like this, like I said earlier, with my tail, right? Just to secure it in while I'm weaving it through. Okay, trying to follow the stitches naturally on the blanket. This is a stable piece here, so I'm going to tie it onto here too. A little knotty knot right there. And then I'm going to continue going across this way, and I think I will sew it in over here somewhere. Okay. Yeah, so we've weaved that in, and now I'm going to sew it in to this little section right here. All right, my needle almost lost ya. She's trying to escape me, y'all. Trying to escape me. And do the same thing we've done for all the others. Just kind of get it through here. Should secure it. Okay, and then I'm going to lay it down nice and flat. I'm going to stitch now. That's it. That was nice and easy. This is very unnoticeable. at least in my opinion. And then I'm going to tie it off when we're done. Like I said, I will put this in a space saver bag to get the air out and make it smaller. And then she's going to go into a poly mailer that I have. My poly mailer is 24 by 24. That's it. She's done. Let me kind of stand back so that you guys can see and put things back to where they belong so I don't lose anything, because you know how quickly I do that. Let me stand back as well, and then I'm gonna prepare so that you guys can actually see the blanket in its full glory. Bear with me while I gather myself. Okay. Oh, my bones. My bones hurt. Okay. Let's get this stuff out of the way. I can show you. I don't want anyone to get sick, so I'm hiding you for the time being. Oh. Okay. Nope, still too low. Okay. Let's move further and further back. Okay. This right here, that's all my mess from the last few days. Okay. This is the massive blanket that I just made. I don't even know if it's all on frame. But yeah, this is she. This is 50 by 60. Again, I was measuring it this way. So across my chest, it is 30, which will give me roughly 60, 62, because there is some like with here. Yeah, this is a full throw blanket. Yeah. Let me know what you guys think, if you like it or not. Like I said, I'm gonna fold her up, put her away. I'm gonna flip the camera over and talk to you girls. Just let me know if you have any questions. Let me grab my tablet so I can actually see your questions. Oof. It'd be nice if you weren't looking at my ceiling, right? That, I think, would be helpful to you. Okay. Here we are. Here I am, nice and shiny, too. Okay. That was a lot. That was heavy. Okay, let's see. The weekend went fast. Oh my god. It definitely did. For me, though, with work, like, my weekends aren't really my weekends anymore. I work weekends. So, like, Monday, Tuesday are my new weekend. So, technically, my weekend's about to start, even though everyone else isn't available. But yeah, that's my little blanket. This is all, folks. Do you guys have any questions before I get off? Let me know, please. But I'm hungry. What are your guys' plans for the holidays? Are you hosting? Are you attending one of your kids' house? We traveling? What we doing, y'all? I think I might be going to my aunt's house. I'm not quite sure who's doing what this year. Oh. All right. It doesn't look like anyone has any questions. If you guys would like to see me make one start to finish, I do have enough pink to do like a pink little small, another pink uh baby blanket, like a stroller size like I normally do. Let me know. Mary, you going to your mom's and dad's for Christmas? Nice. How far are they away from you? But yeah, kind of like all my other lives. If you guys have any questions or want the next tutorial, please comment. Comment it down below. Like after the, not in the live chat, but like in the actual comments. Okay, nice. It's good that you guys get to see both of them. The blanket, I'd say 4 to 5 hours. I worked 2 hours last night on Discord with the girls. I had around an hour, hour and a half beforehand. And then we've been on live for almost 2 hours now. So roughly 5, maybe 6 max. I do it every year. My daughter, Thanksgiving, my oldest is Christmas. Oh, that's nice. Okay, but, well, 18 miles, depending on where you live, can either be really close or really far. But for you, I feel like that's close. For Christmas, like I said, I don't have any markets right now. My partner's birthday is at the end of the year. I would have liked to have gone to Atlantic City because I was offered, like I was sent an offer to go like free flight and hotel. But I need to see if that's still available. I also have flight credit that I need to use before the year is up. At least purchase a ticket. I need to reach out to my best friend to see if she has any availability in maybe January. I might take a little like breaky break and just fly up there to see her. Or I might fly to Florida and visit family. I don't know yet. I have credit that I need to use and I don't want it to go to waste. I'd gotten it when my friend passed away. I was supposed to go into a wedding and the wedding didn't happen. Or excuse me, the wedding did happen. I just wasn't able to go to the wedding because that's when my friend passed away. So I've had it for almost 2 years now and rightfully so it needs to get used. But yeah, I'm gonna let you guys go. Again, I'm rambling. I'm hungry. If you guys want a full tutorial on this, I can do a live tutorial sometime this week. I need to go through what I have left over in regards to onesies and headbands. I know I was so focused on baby headbands, I made no adult headbands. So I need to work on adult headbands. I'll do that this week. Again, in the comments of this video, not the live chat, please, if you want me to do a live tutorial on the headband, I can. I'll do like one all the way through with you guys live. And then I'll do like a repeat or just keep cranking stuff out that way. But if this blanket is something you're interested in as well, please let me know. And then I can do the stroller size that I have on live. I see I have like gray, white, pink, black. I have a couple different colors. I can make quite a few. That's definitely something I want to work on. Daughter's family is flying from NC. And they'll be here. Oh, wow. All over the place. What part of NC does your daughter live in, Barb? And that's another thing too, like we celebrate Christmas Eve, we don't celebrate Christmas Day. Like Christmas Day, we're all just like lazy and cathartic from all the food we ate. And like the kids are busy playing with whatever electronic they got that year. So part of me, because I don't have markets right now, I'm making product for the store now. I'm hoping I find more markets, but as of right now I don't have any. So I'm thinking of once I get the consignment stuff done and enough product for this last market, that's probably going to go over to the store for consignment too. But I think I want to game. But I keep telling myself, if you're going to game, you need to be doing it like on video for it to like be monetized in theory. So I might start a gaming channel. I don't know. You heard it first here. It's still up in the air. But it'll allow me to do what I want and still make something out of it. You know what I mean? I'm not just playing to play. But yeah, guys, I am hungry. I am hungry. We've been on here for 2 hours. Hit me up on Discord if you want as well. But yeah. Good night.